What's going on YouTube? Erbwars here, and today we are finally getting around to making a response video to the nefarious one, Mr. Nefarious Wes. So I do apologize for the delay. As you can see, I'm still setting up my game room. I mean, I am moving a bunch of games into this, and I know I keep talking about it, but in all honesty, it's taken a long time. I only got one wall right here that still needs to add 3 more shelves, and then I have to add shelves throughout the whole other whatever. So let's go. Top 3 retro games that I didn't grow up with. Now, the only thing I have to alter is Wes said when you were 30, until you didn't play until you were 30. Well, the problem is I'm 31. Um, and some of these games, so I'm changing it to 20 because I feel like that's more fair. So let's get kicked off right to it. First game, I've talked about this series before. I have 2 different videos on this series, and that is Dragon Warrior. The whole series, not just Dragon Warrior 4 specifically, it's just a game that I happen to grab off the shelf.
So the Dragon Quest games slash Dragon Warrior games is a series that I got into late in life. I was a 20 or slash 21, 22, somewhere around there. I made a video on YouTube when I actually received the game, so I would have to go back and actually look. This was a series that I got into late in life. Now, I wasn't huge into RPGs until about junior high school, 8th grade slash ninth grade. When I had a couple mutual friends that were really into Final Fantasy, and they helped me get into the genre, breaking my cherry with Final Fantasy VII, and then going back and playing all the great RPGs that are out there on the market, including the Dragon Warrior series, or Dragon Quest series. Now, I'll admit I haven't played every single Dragon Quest game, but the games that I have played I really enjoy, and I feel like they are terrific games, and if you haven't picked them up on the NES, pick them up, or go ahead and play Dragon Quest VII. That's another great Dragon Quest game, and I'm super happy that I got to play the series eventually in life.
All right, so for number 2, and this is one that I'm extremely a little embarrassed about because it's such a big series, and I just didn't play them until I was a little bit older. And technically, I played the arcade version, and I played a different version, which I'll explain in a second. But I'm talking about Final Fight on Super Nintendo.
Alright, so we got Final Fight here on the Super Nintendo. Now, like I said, technically I played this game before because it was on the Capcom Classics on the original Xbox, and that was the arcade version. Now, another version of this game I had was Mighty Final Fight. Now, not the NES card that's so sought after today. I have it on Capcom Classics on the Game Boy Advance, and I really like that game. But when it comes to Final Fight on Super Nintendo, I didn't get this game till later in life. In fact, I didn't play this game till later in life. And yeah, I knew about it, but I just thought it to be an exact arcade port, which it obviously is not an exact arcade port. Now, I love the Final Fight series. It's totally my cup of tea because I love beat 'em up games. But growing up, I was really into Streets of Rage. Now, I don't know if it's because I just didn't hear the Final Fight games when I was younger, which is, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we never played these games growing up. We always stuck to Streets of Rage. I'm glad later in life I was able to find and discover the series because it's such an awesome series, and I'm really happy that I played Final Fight eventually.
All right, for our number 1, and actually this one I got maybe 3 years ago, so it's almost 30. Now, I've been a fan of the series for a long time, but this is the first time that I've actually played this specific game. And for my number 1 pick, that is Castlevania Bloodlines.
Alright, so now we got Castlevania Bloodlines. Now, this is a game that I never owned as a child, or as a kid. I don't know why I keep saying child. But anyway, I picked this game up at a local video game store a couple years back, like I said, and I got it for a really good price. Now, I don't know if they just screwed up on the pricing at the time, but I wasn't going to tell them. I think I got it for like 20 bucks, and so I kind of paid them right away. Now, the first time I played this game, I fell in love instantly, and I know a lot of Castlevania fans, this isn't their favorite Castlevania, and it doesn't even make their top 5, and for whatever reason, it seems like most Castlevania fans aren't really that thrilled about this game. I think the game's really fun, and I think it's enjoyable, and every time I play it, even today when I was recording the footage for it, I could not stop playing it. My favorite level and my favorite part of this game is 6-3, and anybody who played this game will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't played the game, but 6-3, there's something that's pretty cool that happens. if you really want to know what it is, go ahead and play the game or look it up on YouTube. I really kind of don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't played it, but I actually thought my game was broken when I got to that level, and so I had to look it up right away because I was like, oh no, I got a good deal on a game that's broke. And it turns out that it was just how the game plays, and it's really cool, and it's something memorable that I'll never forget on a game that was really old when I started playing it.
Just so we're all on the same page, when you own a bunch of games and when you're a collector and you know there's a million games out there, we can't always play every game, and there's going to be games that gamers haven't played. So yes, I know it's kind of like crazy that I never played the Final Fight game until later on in life, but it's true. I mean, I was huge into Sega Genesis, like with Streets of Rage, and I loved beat 'em up games. I loved all the Ninja Turtle games. All the beat 'em up games is my genre, so it's really surprising to me that wasn't until later in life that I got into Final Fight. So let's not crucify me too much. Anyway, guys, if you haven't checked out the Nefarious One, Nefarious Wes, I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description below. There is a bunch of people that made responses to this, so I encourage you to check out on YouTube top 3 retro games that I didn't grow up with. And until next time, keep on gaming. Game out. Later, people.